Welcome to Your Story, Our History, a podcast from Londonderry YMCA. I'm Catherine, the project coordinator.
And I'm Hannah, the project archivist. For the past year, we've been on a mission funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund to capture the voices that have shaped this organisation.
We have just celebrated 40 years at our Drumahoe site and are approaching a massive milestone, our 170th anniversary. But history isn't just about dates and buildings, it's about people.
We've invited former and current members, volunteers and staff to sit down with us and share the stories that don't always make it into the history books. These memories make our living archive.
Today we are revisiting the youth club in a conversation with Louise, Melissa and Shanagh. These three women all started out here as volunteers and junior leaders, eventually progressing into the staff team. They share what it was like to grow up within the YMCA family and why that bond stays with you for life, no matter where your path leads. They also share a very special thank you to Willie, Lisa and Catriona for the years of support and nurturing that helped them on their way.
So, could you each of these just tell me your names?
So my name is Melissa Wright.
I'm Louise.
Shanagh.
And could you all tell me a wee small bit about yourselves?
Oh, I hate this question. So I started the YMCA whenever I was 14 as a junior leader, and also came in for, it was auto fitness we called it. We were doing a drink of bed and we needed a fitness class, so Ashley was the leader at the time and she took us on a Monday night to do our fitness and then started coming to the youth club from there and didn't leave until recently really.
I'm Louise and I started coming when I was about 7 and came up through the youth club and became a junior leader and volunteer and then a staff member. So I've been here for a while.
I started coming when I was probably still in diapers, to be honest.
Yeah.
Diapers, yeah.
Diapers.
And my mum used to be a youth worker here, so I came along with her and then I've been here ever since. Through volunteer worker and left in 2019, 2020, so
Back.
came back in my life. Yeah, I'm always here.
Yeah. And which is really nice for me is that I was both these lovely girls' leaders at a point in time and then became colleagues and friends and whatnot, so it's nice.
Yeah.
That's so lovely.
Full circle.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you were all obviously involved in the youth club, so could you tell me what that typical day in youth club would look like? Like, what would you usually do? What would you get up to?
So my time in youth club, there was loads of like space in the YM that wasn't like, the out of schools didn't have the top room at the time. So that room would have been free to kind of use. And I can remember there was always like different groups of young people. So there would have been a wee group that liked to do music. So they would go up and play their guitars and stuff like that upstairs. And then the fire is the main thing. The fire and sitting and having a cup of tea and having a chat around the fire was always one of the best things to do. That was sort of the main sort of things of our area club. It was kind of like led by us a good wee bit, what we wanted to do. Very chilled.
And then I suppose to back a decade or so before that, I started coming in the 80s and it was very relaxed then. I don't even think there was like a wee fee to get in or anything. I remember when they introduced the 20p's to get in and you used to just throw it in a pot and run on and past and there was no like registers or anything like that. And I remember all the leaders maybe sitting around him and maybe smoke maybe by the fire. It was back in like I say in the 80s and you'd run in and say hello to everybody and it was very much all age groups and at the same time. And so you had like 10-year-olds run about in one room playing one game and then others, but there was always activities in every single area. No matter where you went, there was something to do. There's people in every kind of area. It was really good fun. I just remember it being the best crack. And like coming in through the doors and the leaders would make you feel like you were the most important person there and it was so exciting to come and that they were excited to see you.
Did you have a favourite one?
Favourite leader? I had two. John McGowan, who was my drama teacher here, youth worker here, do drama, and then there's a guy called Doherty. I think his real name's Lawrence. I'm not even sure. But we called him Doherty, and he was just so much fun, and like always played these silly games and like icebreaker games and circle games, and he just always got the crack going. So he was my favourite youth worker, other than John. John's me. Tough dog. Yeah, that's me, really.
I don't think me and you would have had much of a difference in experience. It was just a couple of years between us. So
Yeah, although I would have started, I wasn't at the junior club, so I would have came in sort of around the teenage time, so I didn't see that bit of it.
I think for the younger sessions, for me, the key ones that kind of stuck out were the kickboxing with flying. Love that. That actually kind of took on a habit for me outside of youth club then. And then the drama club with you. I remember doing tumbling on the mats and stuff and the gymnastics side of things. I was feared for my life, but Louise was always really too comfortable, always had a wee laugh out of it. It was great.
And I can't even do cartwheels.
I know, I still can't do it really fully, so great teacher. But no, very relaxed no matter what age group you were in. It was great. Just come in and feel welcome. Yeah, everyone was always excited to see you, no matter what, so you just felt like it was a wee safe space.
Yeah.
And for someone like me who was so timid, it was great to just come in and kind of find out who I was.
And what about as volunteers or as workers? How did that change? So what was that sort of like working?
So it was like for me, first of all, the kind of first experience or introduction to volunteering was always coming up to summer schemes, because summer schemes were, you see, like even as a kid coming, I loved the summer schemes. You always had a sleepover, and it was always like big fundraising had to be done for it, and like massive competitions to raise the most amount of money, and people were raising like £350 odd, and there's like big prizes up for grabs, like bikes and Game Boys and stuff. Master Systems, I don't know, whatever they were. So we loads of excitement and a big build up around the summer scheme, and then they got loads of people like trained up to do junior leader training. It wasn't even called junior leader training then, it was just volunteering. Ready for the summer schemes to help out. So it was a big change. I mean, it was great crack because there's a big group of your peers doing it with you. Mm-hmm. So it was fun, and then your peers kind of ended up coming up through as well. And I didn't, when I was volunteering, I didn't notice much difference between coming playing and playing as a volunteer.
I think there's more of a difference whenever you then come in to be like a paid worker, and then you get that, yeah, I'm in charge. I'm responsible. I know. Really need to be in charge. Yeah, because that's, as you said, like as you start as junior leader and then volunteer and stuff, you work your way through the process, so there's not as big a difference. But then for me, there's difference then whenever you were paid.
Yeah.
Even moving from youth club to junior leader, I think only those that kind of already took on a bit of responsibility kind of became junior leaders anyway. It was just a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Almost. And then, yeah.
So sort of actually fell
I
in it.
kind of find the same moving paid staff anyway, but I was always a wee bit of goody two shoes, so there's not much difference.
And there's loads of opportunities for training too, because I remember doing YMCA level 2 and level 3, and it carried me really, really far for a long, long time. Like got jobs in Belfast when I was like studying there. Still came home every Friday and worked in the youth club here, but like it carried me. It like the YM created loads of opportunities as like kind of a younger person coming up and being trained in courses and opportunities. It was brilliant. You got loads of opportunities to go away and like
Yeah, I went to Belgium as part of the Connect Work project, which was brilliant.
Do you come into Kosovo? Yeah.
I went to Prague. So, I mean, loads of fun. I went as a staff member to that. That was a very different experience, going away to a foreign country with a group of kids and being a proper responsible person. And it was brilliant. It was a great experience.
So what was the single most memorable moment or event you experienced, either, maybe one whenever you were younger as person, and then one being a worker. Start with that.
I need to think about that one.
Yeah, no, it's grand.
That's a big question. I know. See, it's really hard to be like when you have been involved for such a long time. It's kind of
I feel like I need to look through all the
yeah,
books.
like it's like just what I have done.
Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
As a young person, definitely the trip to Belgium for me, or the circus skills showcase, because we were all duct taped to stilts walking around the hall that is still the same hall today. I was carrying it, and someone fell in front of me.
What me? I couldn't go. I can't. I still can't.
So that would be it for me.
It's really hard. It's genuinely hard to narrow down to one brilliant experience as a kid, and I think it's probably why so many of us, or like maybe the three of us, kept coming back for so long. That it was such. Oh wow, look at that. It was such a really, really like. It was a really great positive experiences. Kind of most of the time when we were kids. The drama was the biggest thing for me. I loved it when they brought a drama curriculum here. I was so excited, so excited as a kid, and then. I don't know. Well, I can't. I just summer schemes, the trips, cracking the buses, sleepovers.
It sounds really silly, but it was the smaller moments, like us sitting around the kitchen having a wee natter, like up to even the way. It's just the wee small things was just
Yeah. For me, it was more the people rather than the experiences. Like it was you always felt welcome. You always felt it was somewhere that you could come. Like, I had my daughter Madison whenever I was 17, and this was always a place that I could come to, and I knew I wasn't going to be judged. There wasn't going to be anything. Like, it was open, it was safe. So throughout, I was here, which was amazing. You know, I credit that to our amazing workers. But for me, it's the people, and that makes the memories of it. Did do like the choir and stuff as well. 2013.
It's brilliant.
Did the
One Voice
choir, which was a cross community choir. Whenever I was doing a music degree, so I led that, and we worked with Neil Cowley, who was Adele's pianist, and got to play. Met him in the Nerve Centre, and then he liked us so much he took us over to. Is it St Augustine? What's the wee church?
Church on the Walls.
The wee church on the Walls. I think it's St Augustine's.
That was brilliant.
For City Culture, church was absolutely packed, and we all got to go in and sing and perform in front of everybody. Don't Stop Believing, that was our song. I actually found that video the other day. But yeah, no, that was brilliant.
Perfect. So what were some of the challenges you experienced?
I suppose so much change over the years. You know, you're like a young person coming up, and then staff member more responsibility. That was probably the changes. Was always a wee bit sometimes rocky, but then it always kind of worked out grand and really well or whatever. So I don't know that, and when the drama group kind of got wasted out, we couldn't find there was no space for us. Other like groups were taking priority, we were given priority over the wee drama group, and we kind of moved from one room to cracks in the foyer, and so having to move venues was really sad for me, because performing here and being on the stage was always really like important and exciting. So that was really hard.
That's funding as well.
Funding
is really hard whenever you're then having to stop certain things, or you're having to scrape for money or fundraise for money because you want something to keep going, and that can be hard sometimes for young people to understand that it's not there anymore, so you need to do something to get it back. You know, it's not always as easy, just to you sort of take it for granted sometimes whenever you have it there all the time. So that can be quite hard. Oh, I can remember taking my hard hat. Yeah. Put your hard hat on, taking you up the ladder. That's right. Whenever there was just the first bit, or the starting bit, and I was like, "Is this safe? Why am I up here?" But it was so buzzing. Yeah.
So that was the fun thing of the whole organisation, and what is such a character here. Yeah, it was a really difficult time. I'm losing a young person years ago, I think about 12, 13 years ago now, I don't even know how long. A young person sadly lost their life, and that was really difficult. And the staff were really supportive. We spent most of our time down by the river with the kids at that time, kind of before street work was an actual thing, or on the streets, whatever it's called, street work, I don't know what's called that. Still called street work. On the streets, whatever it was. So that was probably a really difficult thing too, wasn't it?
Was the flood as well?
Oh yeah,
Floods,
that was huge.
losing the pitches and everything too. That was a big loss. And then just the community in general.
Yeah.
Oh, so great.
We got to meet the king though.
We did. We met the king for the year. That's very true.
Every holiday. But yeah.
So thinking back from your time with youth club, what was the most valuable skill, lesson, or friendship you gained? Or one of each, or
Friendship, yes.
Oh, you guys.
Considering we do not work together anymore, that we still make the effort to meet up.
Yeah.
At least on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
great. It's couldn't have let you guys.
Yeah, friendships probably has to be like as well. I like even from people who've been here years and years ago, it's still kind of maintain friends with those people will see people be born, go to weddings, whatever.
She was not in the room with me.
We weren't there actually. No, actually, no, just being there for the journey was really exciting. Yeah, skills. I suppose we're all kind of. Well, you were in the whole youth work for a while,
Teaching,
and we've all kind of pursued careers outside of here, and that in this kind of field. So
I definitely had a bit left field with it. I'm not on that side of things at all anymore.
but that was teaching, not youth work that put you off.
that was the teaching.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very true. But I suppose the confidence is that kind of side of things. Was
100%.
definitely, because not a chance would I be able to do half the things in it, like the different programs in here. So
No, 100%. I was so quiet and shy in school, like, I don't know. And it wasn't until like coming year that you sort of learn how to have a voice, but it's more putting yourself in situations, and it's that sink or swim kind of thing. Like, you're thrown into the deep end, and that's how you learn, which ended up being for the better.
And so thinking back on your experience as a whole, what do you believe is the most significant contribution that youth club made, or you made to youth club, or
The youth club in general, I
Sure.
would say that sense of community. Like what it's done for the community, for all the young people that came through the doors. Like every young person has felt included, has felt welcomed, they found a safe space. I suppose it's provided a safe space. That's what it's done for the community.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. What else did you say there? Sorry.
I was just saying, thinking about your time as a whole, what do you believe is the most significant or positive effect youth club had on the organisation or the community?
I suppose what you said there, that sense of community, that safe space, that place to come and learn and develop and play and find out who you are.
And it's so nice whenever you meet young people later down the line, like out in the street or in town or something, and they're still buzzing to see you, or they're able to tell you all the things that they've done, or it shows that it's been a valuable experience to them as much as it's been a valuable experience to us.
Yeah,
as well.
Suppose then, is there anything you want to say that'll be recorded in our archive that you don't want to be missed?
I suppose like a thank you to the organisation for being nurtured and being allowed to kind of develop and grow and pursue a career, and kind of being encouraged to pursue a career, and with everyone, even I know there's stories about Willie Lamrock shouting to people, and when I went on to train as a social worker, shouting to managers within the trust to be like, here, you want to give that wee girl a job? So just being supported to develop and grow. it's big.
Yeah.
It's a big thank you.
It's what you always had from Lisa, from Catriona, from Y. Like, everyone has been supportive no matter what.
It's that kind of, once you're part of the YM family, you're always part of the YM family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a big thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Story, Our History.
Our living archive is still growing. If you have a story from the last 40 years at Drumahoe, we want to hear from you.
You can get in touch by messaging us on Facebook or Instagram at Londonderry YMCA Heritage, or emailing heritage.lderry@ymca-ireland.net.
This project is kindly funded by the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Be sure to follow our podcast so you don't miss our next story.
Because our history
is your story.